Hello, everybody, and welcome to the best podcast that you're listening to right now.
Even then, you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the choice
a small
is silence,
category,
isn't
but I'm
it?
hoping we're at the top.
Yeah. It's between us or silence, and we understand that that's not exactly a home run for us, but we have spirit, and we're here. Like the people who like the guys who run like the local shop. We're just here. We're here always.
I think it's
whenever
more
you need us.
I never ever did sports as a child, as my physique will attest to. But those who did and are friends with me have said that often the worst player on the team would get a Most Improved Player award, and I think we often get the most improved podcast. Yeah,
I think that's pretty fair, to be honest. Like, I feel like we are, we put in the effort. To whether you want to dive in or not is another thing. Is the water too hot? Maybe sometimes. But we are water nonetheless, which gives life for a lot of people. So who's the real winner now?
we are.
We
Always.
win. We win every time. Always sides. It's good to be back. Happy days. Decent enough week.
Good for the heat wave to have ended. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
You threatened to climb a tree at one point. Did that ever happen?
I did threaten to climb a tree, and then I realised there was no way to get to the tree itself. There was like a very big base that I just couldn't reach. So I gave up, and so I didn't climb a tree for the first time in probably about 15 years.
I started to climb a tree, and then I thought, can you imagine how embarrassing it would be getting admitted to A&E as a 26-year-old man, having climbed a tree in a global pandemic? They're dealing with like coronavirus cases left, right, and centre, and they're like, right, is this another COVID case? They're like, no, this man climbed a tree and broke his ankle on the way down.
Can you look after him? And you get wheeled in as well, wearing like a really fancy shirt. Just like,
exactly.
Sorry, guys.
I'd probably just get wheeled straight back out again, pushed into the M25.
Push you to the side. They push you to the side. But yes,
pushed onto the motorway, given a big push, and then they'll pick me up when I come back round after I've done all the junctions.
That's nice. On that motorway though, have you found something there? Because we're still trying to find
between junction 11 and 13, which is a pretty long stretch.
One for the drivers.
Yeah,
one
there
for the drivers
was a 32-car pile-up. And while I was waiting for the junction to be cleared, I found what caused the pile-up. No injuries, by the way. Don't worry.
Thank God. Don't worry.
All damage covered by insurance. Everyone's fine.
Lovely.
One man actually said to me he's glad he got the day off work because of it, so But what caused the pile-up was a blockage in the middle of the left-hand lane, which, as we all know, is the lane you're meant to use at all times. The other two are just for overtaking. They're not for different speeds, Jamie. They're just for overtaking. The one on the left was blocked up.
I'm
with
not allowed
the
to drive anymore,
so it turns out.
Yeah. Oh, wow, right, that's there. Fair enough.
So I had to sneak that out from under the noses of the paramedics. But when I got it back home, I think you'll be very happy to hear that there are 2 letters in there.
Another bumper week.
Yep, another big one.
I cleared up the
tumbleweed and the moths, and there were 2 letters left.
Oh, lovely. What are people asking? What's in the mailbag this week? More in-depth questions?
Dennis from Swansea.
Good name. Not the Menace,
asked,
I hope. Not the Menace.
Presumably not. He's asked, which one of the Chuckle Brothers is your favourite?
Is this a trick question? Like, is there a third Chuckle Brother out there?
Well, I think this is interesting because it is kind of like, if you were a devout Christian and someone said, who's your favourite, God, Jesus, or the Holy Ghost, you'd be like, I can't pick between them. They've got the same spirit, they've got the same importance to me, and that's how I feel about the Chuckle Brothers. Paul and Barry both have the same importance to me.
Yeah. If I'm going to pick, like, out of the 2, just as a nice little tribute, I'd probably say Barry's a little bit more mischievous, isn't he? Or he was. He's a bit, bit more, he's knocking around, isn't he? He's a bit, a bit of a, he was a bit, he was tighter as a person, if you know what I mean. Like he was a tighter frame. Yeah. He was like roaming about a bit. Nothing against Paul. Paul, also a legend. But I think if we're going to pick between the two, it's Barry. I'll be honest with you.
I always identified
solid.
more with Paul, but I think Barry. I think especially, after what you've said there, I think if you're thinking about it, I mean, Barry's what makes the show good, isn't he? I mean, Paul's a bit of a buffoon, but Barry, he's the one that's always doing the bits, isn't he? I mean,
he's the spark. Of course, he's the spark.
If it was two Pauls, they'd move the piano down the stairs with minimal hassle, right?
Yeah,
maybe they'd drop it a couple of times. But with Barry they've knocked down a supporting wall. The whole house has collapsed. That's good comedy right there.
Also, they would just say, "What to me? To me? You need the to you, otherwise it's not the Chuckle Brothers."
It's true.
I
remember when I was at Festival when the Chuckle Brothers played like their first DJ set. Right, they did a few DJ sets.
What did they play?
Well, exactly right. So they had the song out. They had the song out with Tinchy Strider. To me, to you. So they played that, but I just remember that year at Festival, we were camped near a group of like mixed European people who were all on like an Erasmus trip or something for uni, and one of their mates had gone like, one of their English mates, one of their uni mates had said like, while you're in the UK, you should go to a British festival. So they'd all gone, and they were all from different parts of Europe, right? And I just remember thinking,
obviously,
no, an Erasmus trip, Jamie. The uni thing.
I thought you meant the Rasmus. I thought you meant they were on a trip for the band.
They were doing a term abroad, is what they were doing.
Okay, there we go.
Nothing to do with Erasmus.
No, fine. Sorry. I mean, I would travel, but each their own.
There you go. So I'm there, and we're at the back. So it's in the tent, right? And the tent is full, and then there's people standing outside. And we're sort of at the back of the tent, so we can see what's going on, but we're nowhere near the front. And it's just Paul and Barry, Paul on the DJ decks and Barry blowing a rave whistle, and Paul just occasionally shouting over the microphone, "Blow that whistle, Barry." And I just thought to myself, those European people camped next to us will see the crowd. This is like 3 p.m, so they're like, "Wow,
they'll be like, wow, that must be someone huge.
Whatever's in there must be fucking good." And if they have bothered to fight their way in, they're just going to see two late middle-aged men playing terrible music while one of them blows a whistle, both with ridiculous moustaches.
Are going for it as well.
Yeah, everyone there fucking loving it. You would be so bemused, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, literally no idea. It's like I saw Dick and Dom do a festival DJ set last year.
Of course,
didn't know what to expect because it was kind of billed as like, for the kids. Do you know what I mean? It's like, Dick and Dom, everyone remembers Dick and Dom, and went along and they just decided to play like 90s house classics. So it was genuinely just like they'd listened to like, I don't know, an Ibiza collection and decided to just play that the whole time. And then just end on Faithless for no reason.
Of course, yeah.
One of the best sets I think of the festival weekend that I went to. So I'll give them that. More of those sets, please. But yes, Chuckle Brothers, brilliant stuff. We prefer Barry.
We do. Second question, second letter, second correspondence. It's a good word that doesn't get used much. Yes, the final is from Lily from Crowborough. Which is a place I've only ever been through in the car, but they have a statue there.
I can't say I can tell you.
Arthur Conan Doyle, I believe, who I think was from there.
I didn't realise that you were the fucking culture Bible over here, and you just
got to give Crowborough some justice. She has asked, "What's your favourite one-hit wonder?" Like UK, well, she hasn't put this, but I'm assuming she means like UK chart-topping one-hit wonder,
Yeah, we wouldn't know the rest. Yeah, I think that's our best bet is just sticking to UK, isn't it? Favourite one-hit wonder? It's tricky because I would class, because like there wasn't like a long career. It wasn't like they did like a tour or reunion tour or did like some huge run. I'm gonna say the Peter Kay and Tony Christie version of "Is This the Way to Amarillo," which was released for Red Nose Day, I believe.
Sorry, can I just say, in what way is that not a one-hit wonder? You were saying that like qualifying it, as if Peter Kay's got this huge recording career. Like, well, obviously he's done the 4 or 5 albums, but that's the one everyone remembers.
Well, no, because he did like some other songs, didn't he? He did he did like a version of 500 Miles for Comic Relief a few years later. But I don't think that counts because it's not the same thing, is it? It
didn't
different.
go nearly as big, right? So
No, exactly. So yeah, I would say Is This the Way to Amarillo? I don't know if Tony Christie's had other hits. I don't want to put disrespect on the man's name, but I don't know any others. And in the nicest way, we do. We know a lot about music in terms of we kind of have to. So
we do. Yeah,
I would say Peter Kay and Tony Christie, Is This the Way to Amarillo? Because it is still one of the greatest songs of the 21st century. Jake, one hit wonder for you. Are you a bit of a Chesney Hawkes fan, or are you looking at?
No,
I don't know.
No, he stole my surname and he stole my pride. I won't be having it.
Your pride.
For me, the best one-hit wonder in the UK has got to be Ebenezer Good by the Shaman.
Yeah, all right. The Shaman.
I always thought of it as like, you know, a shaman is the thing that it's a pun on, right? So like, I feel like you have to be the shaman to make it obvious that it's not shaman. Just sounds like you're saying shaman wrong.
Yeah,
anyway, it
it's
doesn't
like
matter because they were a one-hit wonder. They were exactly, but they were a one-hit wonder, so no one gives a shit. But what I like about this song is A, it's an absolute banger, and B, it went to number 1 during Drug Awareness Week. And I think a lot of people were a lot more aware of drugs after this song came out, which is nice, right?
Should we play one of these songs? I feel like because we've picked 2 out there, haven't we? And do you reckon we should?
That's true. I think we could do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you which one we play, mate. If it's not Ebenezer Good, I'm leaving, and you have to finish the podcast on your own.
Oh no! Let me flick a coin. Hold on a second. Hold on, I don't have a coin, but I have a match. Let me flick a match.
What does that even mean? How would that work?
Not like that. Not against the side or anything. Okay, what I'll do is I'll flick it, right? I'll spin it in the air, and whatever way it lands, like, so do you want the lighting end or the bottom end, right? You call it, and if you win it, you get obviously easy good.
So what the light pointing towards you mean?
Yeah, if it's pointing towards me, I'm just going to flick it in the air.
Okay.
And we're going to see which way it lands. So,
okay.
What are you going for?
I want the lighted end. I want the business end. I want the business end.
The business end. All right. Okay. Right. I'm going to go for it. I don't know how it's going to come out on radio, but it's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play the Shaman. Ebenezer Goods.
Ebenezer Good. His friends call him Easer and he is the main geezer and he vibe up the place like no other man could. He's refined, he's sublime, he makes you feel fine. They're very much maligned and misunderstood. But if you know Easer, he's a real crowd pleaser. He's ever so good, he's Ebenezer Good. You see that he's mischievous, mysterious and devious. When he circulates amongst the people in the place, once you know he's fun and something of a genius, he gives a grin that goes around face to face to face. Backwards and then forwards and then backwards. Easer is a geezer, he loves to muscle in. That's about the time the crowd will shout the name of Easer as he's conjured in the corner laughing by the bass bin. Easer Good, Easer Good. He's Ebenezer Good, Easer Good, Easer Good. He's Ebenezer Good, Easer Good.
The matches are away. You'll be delighted to hear. But
I mean, you can see why it doesn't get played much on Radio 1, can't you?
I can understand that. To be fair,
it's not very understated. Apparently, I looked this up while it was on, and apparently, so the song they played it on Top of the Pops, right? And everyone was like, "God, they're obviously going to have to make some changes to Top of the Pops."
In order to make it,
they changed one thing, and they replaced the final lyric, which is "Got any salmon," which is a drug reference apparently. With
Jesus
"Has anyone
Christ.
got any underlay?" And when asked why, he replied, "Because they said we couldn't have the drug reference, so I wanted a rug reference instead."
Brilliant.
There we go. That song went to number 8 in Finland. Number 2 in Norway, mate.
Huge in the Scandinavian countries.
Apparently so.
Wonderful stuff. But thank you for your question,
certified gold in
Lily.
Australia.
Gosh.
Yeah, thanks, Lily. That was nice.
Yeah, no, nice.
Enjoyable for no one except me.
Moving on from Ebenezer Goods, let's talk about some news that is good.
Ebenezer Goods.
Ebenezer, yeah. Let's go on to some news, shall we? There's been a lot going on. A lot of acts doing loads of stuff. So we thought we'd just rattle through some of the big hitters, really. First off, is the return of a dork favourite, if you will. Someone who we've been talking about.
Friend of the magazine?
I think we can say yes. A friend of the magazine. The Japanese House, who has just released a new EP, which is called Chewing Cotton Wool, which obviously includes the song Chewing Cotton Wool.
There's such a horrible image. Like the thought of chewing cotton wool.
Just biting on it.
Yeah, that's what it'd be like, yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. But yeah, it's a brand new EP. It's kind of like the first batch of new music since release of Good at Falling, which was out last year? Yeah, it was last year, early last year. Obviously her debut album. Yeah, we're big fans over here of Japanese House. She's been on the cover twice. So she has the record for... most go. Actually, no, she's not anymore. Oh well.
No, I was going to say, definitely not.
But anyway, 2 covers is nothing to be sniffed at. Nothing to be sniffed at.
More than I've had.
It's more than Jake's had. It's good to have her back. Bunch of songs in there, kind of some of the stuff she's released, or I guess over the past few months, really. Something Has to Change is on there, but she launched it with a new track called Dion.
Dyson Airblade Mark V.
Amen. Yes. Which is a new track which features Justin Vernon, which is matey boy Bon Iver. So that's really nice. Great little stuff. Those two, they've kind of got a similar kind of I guess that their voices really intertwine very nicely on this. That's all I'm saying.
It is nice. Nice is the only word. They always say, when you're doing your sats, they say don't use the word nice. But this is just nice, isn't it?
This is nice.
It just is.
Yeah.
It just is nice.
Is. And it's kind of it's just growing, as well. It feels like, it's like she's stepping out into new, she's kind of building on everything she's done so far. And it's really exciting. It's a nice little drop of new music to have. As we look to kind of what comes next. So this is great. So let's have a listen. This is Dion, not Dyson, featuring Justin Vernon.
I didn't want to say anything, but it is just pronounced Dion, isn't it?
Is it Dion?
I'm pretty sure it's just the name, Dion, yeah.
Wow. That was Dion by the Japanese House.
Could have been. I don't know. Don't know now.
I don't know. We don't know. We don't know how to speak on here, do we? They let us go with this. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know why they let us do this. Lack of volunteers, I guess.
More than anything.
What else we got? We got some other news, haven't we? It's been a packed one for news, actually.
Yeah, we've got. I guess we can mention, obviously, we've got obviously our focus album of the week coming up later, which is the debut album from Seagulls. But there's another string of albums that have been out today that we thought we'd obviously mention. One of them being Biffy Clyro, who are back. They've dropped their new album. And I think this is their oh god, is it their 9th or their 8th album? Or
it's something ridiculous, isn't it? But the thing with Biffy Clyro, I think you always forget, is they got big, and everyone I think it's easy to forget that those aren't their first albums that got big.
Yeah,
100%. You know what I mean? You think back to when they first broke into the public consciousness, and you're like, oh, they haven't been around that long. 9 albums is, it's still a while, but 9 albums is a bit. But it's that was what, 3rd album?
Yeah, their breakthrough was kind of almost I don't know, number of years into their career, they'd already become a bit of a beloved kind of band for a lot of people around the world. But and it was only at that point where they crossed over. But yeah, their new album, A Celebration of Endings, is out today. It's a corker. It's a corker. It feels like they are. I don't know. It's a sharper album than their others, where they maybe tried a few different things out. This feels like a lot of a tighter album.
I mean, it's very much a Biffy Clyro album, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's very much.
Where it is, I agree with it. It's definitely a bit sharper. It does a couple of new things. It's not boring by any stretch of the imagination, but like it's not going to be like out of left field for anyone that already knows Biffy Clyro. Which I think 9 albums in, I mean, if they're going to do something new, it's probably going to be an awful sort of techno album or something weird, isn't it? So it's good that they are just ploughing on with what works.
They know what they're doing, don't they? They know what they're doing.
The Biffy
Clyro album is out. The Biffy Clyro album is out. There's loads of albums out today. Obviously, the Maskins album is out, debut album. That's a lovely little indie album as well.
It is, very nice album. An album that could easily have been album of the week another week.
Yeah, very much.
But it isn't because it wasn't released another week.
Yeah, we don't make the rules. Time does.
Exactly.
And with that in mind, but what we will do is we'll play a track from the Biffy Clyro album because it's a good album. It's a good album, and we want to give a little shout out to it. So we will play one of those now. This is kind of like a highlight, I think, from the album. This is End Of.
I think it's pronounced Eendorf.
Eendorf, there we go. Sorry, I don't know how to say things nowadays. Do you reckon Biffy obviously have got their? I mean, this must be ideal weather when it's obviously a heat wave for Biffy Clyro to obviously be topless. I mean, they're used to it by now, aren't they? Surely.
No, I feel like it's the same with us. I mean, we'd be uncomfortable going topless in the winter, but in the summer, if I'm topless, I just burn. I'll die. You know.
Nice.
So,
I mean, you'd die.
Well, you'd
crumple.
So if I was topless all day, every day, I would die of heat stroke in the summer. So if I was topless all day, every day in October, I mean, I'd be a bit chilly. Wouldn't be great. People would laugh at me, but I wouldn't die.
Well, I don't know if it's cold enough. The chill will get you. You know, hypothermia.
Not if I jump up and down a lot.
And there we go. If you see Jake hanging around on Halloween, jumping up and down with his top off, just know that's kind of, it's Jake's thing. We have to go with it every year. But good on you. And you get exercise, I suppose, as well. That's quite good, isn't it?
Only exercise I do get, yeah.
Yeah, very fair. Yeah, bunch of good albums out. Well done, everyone. Congrats. Got some more news, Jake.
Feed me news, Jamie.
This one's a little bit different. This is Billie Eilish. If you've heard of her, arguably, probably one of the biggest acts on the planet. So she obviously dropped like a new song last week, which we played on the show, called "My Future," and now she's decided. Guess what, guys? Let's write letters to our future selves. So what this is basically you go on this website, you write a letter to your future self, you sign it, and then you can choose any date in the next 2 years when you want to receive the letter. And I guess the letter just kind of like drops in your email, I guess. Or
it does, I think that's the idea. Yeah,
that's the idea.
I think this is really nice as an idea.
Yeah, it's quite
I think
nice,
it's like
isn't
simple, low effort from like the artist's point of view. But just really good to like engage your fan base and like quite a fun thing in general. It's like when I think it was the Straight Outta Compton thing that when the movie came out of that, they did one where you could just edit a photo to have Straight Outta wherever your town was or city was on it. I like stuff like that. I think it's nice. Yeah. I think, you know what? Have some engagement, have some free stuff. So I think the idea is we're going to play this track, aren't we? We're going to play a song, and then I think Jamie and I are going to write letters to ourselves, which are going to come back to us in a couple of months, and then we'll read them out on the radio.
Yeah. So for long-term listeners, this is basically saying if you stick with us, you'll find out more absolute nonsense we've written to ourselves. We're just going to write them out, and we're going to open them up in a couple of months' time. So we're going to try and do that within like 4 minutes. So it's going to go badly. But
I can't imagine it's going to be a very in-depth letter.
It's not going to be an in-depth letter. I think it's more just going to be like, I don't know, make sure you put the bins out on Friday. Maybe that'll be it. Maybe that's all you need. A little reminder of what to do.
Don't give any spoilers away, mate.
Sorry. I'll keep it to myself. But before then, let's listen to. We played Biddy's latest song on last week's show. So shall we go back and listen to her Bond theme? No Time to Die.
This is Diamonds Are Forever. Oh no, sorry. This is No Time to Die by Billie Eilish.
There's just no time to die. I let it burn. You're no longer my concern.
Right,
And
I'm done.
I never liked Jamie anyway. Yours sincerely. Oh,
Jake,
we did.
we're back
Yeah,
on.
right, we're back.
Jake, we're
Yeah,
back on.
okay.
Jake, we're back on. Jake, we're back on.
Yeah. No, all right.
Have you done it? You sent it off? Or you
Oh
clicked
God,
the link?
yes. Leave me alone, Jesus.
I just want to make sure. We will open those in a couple of months. But yeah, if you wanna send a letter to yourself, just go on. Just head to Billie Eilish's social pages. There'll be a link there. That's how it works now. We don't know websites, but do that. Do you want some more news, Jake?
I'm
like a fountain of
news.
it. It's just pouring out of my fingers and into the bowl of life.
Horrific. What news have you got?
This one's from Lewis Capaldi, famous
Oh yeah.
Mr. Capaldi, who's dropped an update on new music. Obviously, his debut album came out last year, and he's just confirmed.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Has he released a new song or an EP?
No. He's just confirmed that he won't be releasing any new music this year.
Oh.
That's the update. And he's just said very, very clearly, people have suffered enough.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice of him.
Which, he brings him, at least he's, open about it. Do you know what I mean? People have suffered enough. 2020's been quite a year.
Lewis, I just want to say,
He's bringing himself down.
I get it. You want to be self-deprecating so they can't bring you down, but you just gotta be confident. If you haven't got any music out, that's fine, but you don't have to bring yourself down, mate.
I think this could be
give me a call if you need me. Drop me a message.
I think this could be like a red herring. I think this could be like, people have suffered enough, and then his next album is like a wild jazz album with it's like 80s pop.
That would make me suffer, the jazz.
Well, thank God that you have to wait till next year for that. That's good.
Exactly.
He's written he said he's written loads of songs though. He said he's written 50 new songs for the album, which is quite nice.
They always say that, don't they? I've written 400 songs. It's either you haven't or you have, and most of them shit because you're never going to release any of them. Anytime any artist is interviewed, they're like, "Oh yeah, we wrote 8 million songs, and then we recorded 10 of them." And I'm like, "What? What were the other 8 million? What were they? What?"
It's best not to look into that because then you just think, but you could have had if these were the 10 best, we're in real trouble.
I want to hear the 10 worst. I'd pay good money to hear the 10 worst songs they wrote.
That's an idea.
Real bottom of the barrel.
That's it. Lewis Capaldi puts out an album, and then it's just here's the shit. Here's the worst songs. See what you think.
There was a bootleg album of Elvis Presley songs put together, which were all his worst ones, and it was called Elvis Presley's Greatest Shits. And I think a lot, that's so. I think you get an album, right? You do a double album, right? The first album is all the best songs you wrote, and the second one is all the worst songs you wrote.
I rate it.
A yin and yang kind of thing. And it's you listen to the good one, you're like, it's not that good. Then you listen to the bad one, you go, wow, that good one is much better than this. So anyway, he said that people have suffered enough, so we're not going to play one of his songs because he's told us not to, basically.
He's told us not to.
We'll move on to the next piece of news.
Yeah. Should I just, something very different, Jake?
Yes.
What is your thoughts on K-pop?
K-pop was the first time. I think everyone has one of these where you're just up to date on everything, just sort of symbiotically, And then one thing happens, and you're like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck is this?" And then that's when you realise you're getting old. And K-pop was that
what
for me.
What the fuck is this?
You know what I mean? Like K-pop appeared and it was just doing numbers. It's still doing numbers. It's got massive following. And I'm looking at it like, oh no, I don't get it. Oh God, I'm old. That's it. K-pop and TikTok. Those are the two things for me. The first time I felt like an old man, that was the two things. Oh, and also Twitch streaming. They're coming thick and fast now. That's how much older I'm getting. Every new thing I don't understand.
Are you all right?
I'm having a terrible time. But to be fair, I have listened to some K-pop and I did enjoy it. And then I looked into it, and apparently they're all living terrible lives from management or something weird. It's a weird corporation thing. I don't know if it's all the bands or some of them. I got a bit involved. I just did a deep dive one evening and felt very odd afterwards. But BTS were good. Why do you ask, Jamie? I feel like I've got a bit manic here. Let's draw us back. Let's drag us back over.
Well, I was about to say, because obviously we talked about, like, you know, BTS, and obviously they kind of like welcomed in K-pop to a wider, I guess, like Western audience, if you will, and took it global in a lot of ways that I guess it never has before. But there's a new band on the scene who are a supergroup, Jake. A supergroup.
Oh my.
They're not just a group, they're super. And do you want to know how I know that they're a supergroup? Because their name is SuperM. Brilliant.
Oh,
great. That's what it says on the tin.
That was the other one I liked. Big Bang and BTS were the two that I enjoyed.
Well, maybe you'll like SuperM as well. A supergroup from multiple different groups. They've all come together. And I think they're basically primed to be like the next big K-pop breakthrough, like around the world, basically. Following obviously on from like BTS, they're very much going for it. And this is it. They've already like topped the US charts. This is a thing. It's already happened. It's already going on. But they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they have dropped. They've dropped a brand new song. Whilst we talk about that. The song is called 100, which is taken from their debut album, which is coming up soon, which is called Super One, which is good because that presumes that there'll be more than one album, which is obviously a good sign.
Which is nice.
If you are invested in a group, you know, you want to do that. This one's it's big, and what we're saying is we're dropping some K-pop in.
I just want to say I've just gone onto their Wikipedia to do a little brushing up, and it says that they've been announced as the global ambassadors for Korean Air. So
strong.
Yeah.
Get those free flights, gentlemen.
I think that probably pays enough for you to live comfortably for like a decade, doesn't it?
What if the airplane has you as ambassadors?
Like if someone comes to you and said, "Do you want to be the global ambassador for like British Airways?" I imagine the money they'd throw at you would be enough to live comfortably for a good few years.
It depends who you are, Jake, because obviously if they came up to us now and be like, hey guys, you are the hosts of Down With Boring, obviously, as we discussed, in battle with silence for what's better, we'd like to have you on board as global ambassadors. I don't know if our bargaining power is going to be that good. I reckon we'll probably get, a few free flights and maybe a bag of crisps.
That is so optimistic. That is so optimistic that you think we're going to get free flights out of British Airways. That would be like the best bargaining of all time.
It'd be great.
Honestly, if we went into bargaining with British Airways and we came away with a packet of crisps, I'd be like, we've done all right there.
We've done all right, guys. If we came away and they hadn't taken our homes from us, I think we would have done all right. Because I presume we would have to give something away in order for that to happen.
Exactly.
But SuperM have done it with Korean. Is it Korean Air? Korea Air?
They have, yes.
They've done it already, and it shows that they're absolutely going. So for something very different on Down With Boring, but something that everyone's going to know very, very soon. This is SuperM with 100.
Ain't no stopping, just turn up the heat, yeah. Into the fight, towards die, you know that we run it. There ain't no turning us down, you know we taking the crown. We go 100. We go 100. Hey, we go 100. Can't slow down, can't slow down. 100. We going all out. We go.
I love the fact that we have now, when this show has played Ebenezer Good into K-pop, all within the space of about 20 minutes. So
it's been a long, hot summer, Jamie.
It is. It really fucking has. Jesus.
That's all I can say. My only justification is that my brain has melted.
Oh, gosh. SuperM. Super stuff. Super. New music. Let's move on to new music. We've gone through some news.
I like new music.
Let's talk about some... I like new music as well. It's always good. We get to talk about...
No, I like it more.
I mean, are we getting into it now? There's people here.
Okay, fine. Just admit I'm right.
So there's new music. We've got 4 new tracks out that we want to talk about this week. Jake, do you want to start us off with someone whose name rhymes with Miley Cyrus?
Yes, it's the Wombles with their new track.
For God's sake, no.
It's Miley Cyrus, of course. She's back with a banger.
Absolute banger.
I like Miley Cyrus. I'm a big fan of the fact that she successfully dug herself out of the Disney stereotype.
Yes.
And then there was some provocative stuff, and everyone was like, "Oh God, what's Miley Cyrus up to?" And then she just came back, and she's just like, "You know what? I like country music and I like pop, and my dad's Billy Ray Cyrus, and I'm gonna have some like." I just think genuinely she seems like she's somehow come out of this as a very level-headed human being.
Yeah.
And all of her songs in the past couple of years have been absolute bangers.
Yeah.
I saw her at Glastonbury.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I'm just
that's
blown away.
great.
But I mean, obviously there's Party in the USA, the bangers that you know.
Huge,
but the new stuff as well is just like great pop stuff, some great country stuff. She brought Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X out, I think, which we've discussed in the past.
Wonderful stuff. Yeah, wonderful stuff.
But yeah, I've got a lot of time for Miley Cyrus, and this new track I think is a banger.
I like the fact that you kind of said it, haven't you? Like she's cleared out that kind of any sort of overarching like people are like, oh, you're Disney. She kind of properly just cleansed it away from her. And now she's just like free to do whatever she wants, and like it's just getting better and better. Like everything that she's putting out.
I also think with it that it's so distanced that now it's kind of weird to think that is where Miley Cyrus came from.
Yeah. It's very odd, isn't it?
It's an odd one to be like, oh yeah, I guess that was why she was famous.
Yeah. That was what she came out with. Hannah Montana, famously. Not anymore. Remember she did that?
No, she wasn't Hannah Montana.
Wait, what?
Hannah Montana had a different hair color, right?
Wait,
was she Hannah Montana the whole time?
Yeah.
Right, let's play this track and you can explain to me because I'm not following this at all. This is Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus, which Jamie seems to think is the same person as Hannah Montana.
So Jake, that's basically how acting works. Is that
I see? I understand.
Both. She could be both, and that
right.
was it. Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, we were just discussing it. So yes, Miley Cyrus. What a tune! Big song. Wonderful stuff.
It's a banger. I keep saying it, but that's just what it is.
It's what it is. It's what it is. Exciting stuff. Yeah. Looking forward to, I guess a new album coming at some point soon.
Well, one would assume so, yeah.
You never know. Maybe not. We don't know. We're speculating. We're rolling with it. Should I serve up some new music now, Jake? You happy with that?
I just was slaving away in the kitchen over that new music, so you might as well take your turn. Yeah, what have you got for us?
What have I got? I've got more super pop hits. This time, it's a remix. So before you go anywhere, it's a remix, but it's a really good remix, right? So,
and it's not by either of us.
It's not by either of us. You don't need that. The only remix I've ever done is I once tried to remix a speech from Christian Bale into the Prodigy's Omen. There's very few people in the room that saw that, which is probably good for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Anyway, we're talking about good remixes. And a good remix has come from Dua Lipa, who has decided, basically, so she is taking her latest album, Future Nostalgia, and she's doing like a big old remix album, which is great. Why not? Fuck it. She teamed up with the Blessed Madonna, who's done the remixing.
With a remix album, it hinges on who you can get on the remixes, right? So has she got anyone good for this one?
Well, let me talk to you about the Chuckle Brothers. No, it's Madonna. It's Madonna is on it.
Oh my.
And Missy Elliott on the same track. It's chaos. But it's an absolutely huge remix. They remixed Levitating, which obviously off of her latest album. It's just an absolute club spinner, if you will. It makes me want to drink sangria, head to the coast, and dance in the moonlight. But I can't do any of those. So instead, let's just listen to this song, and then we can see if we both agree on that. This is it's Dua Lipa, Levitating, featuring Madonna and Missy Elliott, the Blessed Madonna remix.
Got my real tight pants. When I back it up, I put you in a trance. If you wanna dance, then show me all your bands, cause tonight I might give you that chance. Let's get it. Skirt. Pull up in the coupe. Ooh, that dude, he look hella cute. Yeah, he looking at me like, ooh, say my breasts like Betty Boo.
It's quite a wordy track, but it goes.
Not a wordy. It's a wordy title for a track that is not wordy, really.
No. But it's amazing.
It's just doesn't need words to describe.
Doesn't need words, does it? Dua Lipa,
which means
Madonna,
we're out the
Missy
job,
Elliott.
really.
Yeah. But then again, I don't think anyone was listening to this show for our deep, insightful words. More the aura around it.
Can dream.
We can all dream. But yeah, that's a big tune. Levitating. Lovely stuff. Jake, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
I've got some music. I've got it. I want to get rid of it. Do you want it? I'll sell it cheap.
Sell it cheap! It's not a meat raffle.
So, let me talk to you about Working Men's Club. Speaking of meat raffles. Working Men's Club, a band.
Yes.
Not the place where you do a meat raffle.
Famously not.
They're great. Their debut album is coming out October, I believe.
That's correct, yeah.
I remember we actually saw them supporting the Murder Capital a few months ago.
Yeah, this year.
And I was absolutely blown away.
Yeah.
I think on record, you get a lot of it, but live, I mean, the front man is just going for it. They got all sorts going on. There's a very prominent cowbell for a lot of the time.
Big fan of the cowbell.
To me, this is... You know when like that kind of dance indie thing in the 90s where you got like Happy Mondays and that, right?
Yeah.
It was
sort
of,
what you mean.
They're still playing guitars, but it's kind of more
like acid housey kind of.
Working Men's Club are that for this like Murder Capital, Fontaine's, Idols thing to me. It's like that. Oh, you mean there's a sort of post-punk revival? Great, I've got a synth and a cowbell, so let's fucking have it.
Yeah. They really do go for it. They really go for it. I think it's great. If you see them live,
if you like this track, and you like go and see them live because you'll like it 1,000 times more.
Yeah, they are incredible.
It's good, but it's nothing compared to how they are live. So yeah, this is Working Men's Club with Valleys.
Trapped inside a town, inside my mind. Stuck with no ideas, I'm running out of time. There's no quick escape, so many mistakes, I'll play the long game. This winter is a curse, and the valley is my hearse. When will it take me?
Very, very good. You can just dance all over the place. We're having a very dancey tracks this week,
We are,
which is quite
very
nice.
upbeat, yeah.
Upbeat. It's wonderful stuff. Yeah, they're brilliant, aren't they? Working Men's Club. Like you were saying, that when we both went to that gig, it was pretty amazing. They just go for it. Yeah, big stuff. Can't wait for the album. Happy days. Good new music, which is better than
That's
bad.
3. I mean, it'd be nice to have an even number, wouldn't it? Have you got any more?
Well, actually, I've got one. Let's go for something different. We've had the dancey, all the dancey stuff going on here, there, and everywhere, as you do. Let me talk to you about a band called Pillow Queens. Have you heard of Pillow Queens before, Jake?
I've heard of the concept. I don't know if I've heard of the band.
Well, let me tell you more. So yeah, it's like a 4-piece from Ireland. They've kind of been, I don't know, just kind of like knocking away at the door for the past year or so, getting really great reviews, like really proper I don't know. It's kind of like almost like sometimes it can be like post rocky, other times it can be like pure like slacker indie rock at times. But they write just amazing, like just pure like indie, almost indie pop songs underneath. They've got that hidden underneath, and they've kind of like dropped a brand new single called Holy Show, which is another really brilliant one. Their debut album called In Waiting is out in September, and I mean, everything they've heard so far, it's going to be, a real kind of like standout. One of those albums which kind of like comes out and through word of mouth, kind of people go like, oh yeah, this is like an amazing album. And I hope it does that for them, because I think they deserve it. And
I think this track is genuinely something quite special. I think, like you say, it's not a case of like scrappy new band released an album and you're like, oh, it's got potential, the next one will be good. I think to me, it feels like this album, if it all sort of tallies with the quality of what's out there so far, could, as you say, could really be something special and something really good.
Yeah, I think it's something that people could be drawn towards too. I think, they've put out tracks before like Gay Girls, which went quite big, like Brothers, which was really powerful. And like there's a real like deeper meaning behind every single song. And I think, I hope anyway that it captures people's like attention and people just love this record, because I think it's shaping up to be an absolute cracker. If you don't believe me, well then have a listen to this little taste. This is a Holy Show. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Truly.
music. Wonderful music. That was Pillow Queens. A lot better than our singing, but it was Pillow Queens nonetheless.
Wasn't Pillow Queens, that was us making strange noises.
Yeah, don't hold that against them.
Was Pillow Queens.
Don't hold that against them, please. For the love of Christ, mister. Wonderful. So that's new music. Do you know what comes next after new music? It's more new music technically, but this time it's in a longer form.
We really do get you with this, don't we? You think, oh, we're done with the new music. Finally, we can get back to blasting out Creed. But no, it was not to be.
Fucking Creed! What's the Creed song? Because it's like, oh god,
I don't know. I think I know any
you are
Creed.
my poison. Oh god, I can't remember
Is that Creed?
I think so. Isn't that Creed?
All right, fine. Whatever.
No, anyway, the world doesn't need me singing Creed. Jesus Christ. We're going to talk about the album of the week. And the album of the week is from Seagulls with Open Up Your Head. Their debut album. The time is here. They've been building up to it for a while now. Off to the races we go. Before
we properly get into it, you've got a little bit of an anecdote, haven't you, about the album of the week, Jamie? We had something a bit special planned. I don't know whether you want to...
So, let's go behind the scenes, shall we? This week we originally planned...
Just a brief one.
This week we originally planned to have Seagulls on the show. So following in the footsteps of Alfie Templeman and Matt Maltese over the past few weeks. Lovely stuff, lovely chats. We had a good time, didn't we? Both of them. That was quite nice. Seagulls are meant to be on the show this week, and we tried to record their appearance on the show, and I'll be honest with you, it all went horribly wrong. We're talking...
I just want to point out that half of Matt Maltese, I wasn't there because my Wi-Fi didn't work, right? Everyone laughed. By everyone, I mean Jamie. And then the Seagulls one comes along, and he's there like, I'll sort this one, mate, don't you worry. His internet broke completely.
Internet broke completely. It literally just stopped working. I blame the heat, personally. Yeah, sure. I blame that. So we meant to have Seagulls on this week, but don't worry, they will be on next week. So tune in next week where I will be catching up on how album release week has gone and how life is and having some fun there. So instead of them, you've just got me and Jake, which, fun and games, I guess.
So we still want to talk about it because it's out this week. It's a big one this week. Like for us, they've been on the cover. It's a great album. So we're still going to talk about it. And then next week, we'll have them talk about it a little bit. And then we'll say, look, guys, we've already talked about it. So I don't know, maybe we'll get their best tips to doing their laundry or something. We'll work something out.
If you want to work out or want to hear what Seagulls is like, I don't know, favourite coffee is, next week is your one. If you want to hear about the album, then stay right here.
So please do tweet us. Basically get in touch with us any way you can. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email, carrier pigeon. If you want us to ask anything for Seagulls, we'll be around. We'll be ready to do it. So you got any burning questions? Drop them our way. Same goes for mailbag, obviously. The mailbag is light as ever and can do with stuffing with your love.
Fucking heavens above, man. Whilst we recover from that, we'll get into Open Up Your Head after this. So this is Forever from Seagulls.
I feel the rush between the flame in each direction, a perfect reflection. You are the other, and I'm the same. We'll get together in the garden again. Pain is all we have now. Let's just forget and try live without.
A huge song from Seagulls. It's just big. It's big indie, isn't it? I know that sounds like it's a very quick and easy way to talk about it.
It's so smack bang in the middle of that, isn't it? Just that big indie anthems, one after the other.
Yeah.
And you listen to the album and you think, oh, there'll be a couple here that aren't. And just one after the other, just hammer in there. Just like big anthem, festival anthem.
Yeah.
Give us a break, guys. This is the thing. This was a band that were playing Kentish Town Forum so soon that we were like, all of us looking at it like, what? That's sold out. And it's like, it's a good thing it did because these songs would not work in a pub. These are big venue songs, and this is a band that are going to be playing big venues with them. And I think this album's going to be great live when it can finally happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's that thing, isn't it? It's like this band are are purely just aimed squarely at being like, we want to be this big band who play the big festival main stages, big indie songs. It's kind of thrown back a lot to like that era of, I guess, like early Killers and at parts in this album like Kings of Leon. It's very much going for like the epic indie sing-alongs, and they've kind of built that up over a number of years as well. They've been touring relentlessly for the past few years, and as you say, been building up, venue by venue. Like I remember they did Community last year, Community Festival in London, and they played the main stage, and it was still like it's still relatively early doors for them. They were kind of like picking up some momentum, but still relatively early. They're a new band, if you will. And the Phil was just packed. Like it was absolutely packed. It was a really hot day as well. And so it was just brilliant. I just remember watching it being like, they're going to be huge.
I do think it's one of them, isn't it? Where like you make the booking and like, I felt like you'd be there and you'd be like, and then we'll book Seagulls for the main stage. And someone's gone, what, are you mad? And you're like, no, just trust me. And then 6 months down the line when the festival actually happens, they're there like, this is absolutely rand. like when they booked Billie Eilish for Glastonbury, then to upgrade the stage, you know, someone there saw Seagulls and went, look, this is obviously going to be huge. I'm going to put this to the main stage, and they were just so proven right. And I think this album as well, like a lot of bands will be playing these smaller venues, especially. Like London's a good barometer for it because there's so many venues in London.
100%.
And I think Kentish Town Forum is when you're on the track to the bigger venues, you know? And a lot of bands will hit that after the debut. They'll do the debut and their big debut album show will be Kentish Town Forum. Seagulls did that, like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Longer than that?
On like, I don't know, like second, third EP or something like that? Like,
exactly. Just like absolutely ludicrous.
They just went for it, yeah. I mean,
and they didn't even break a sweat with that either. It wasn't even like that was a stretch. It was like, we'll play Kentish Town for, it's sold out. Great.
Cool, easy. Yeah. Well, like at the time of recording, like they're meant to be playing Brixton at the end of this year, and that's already sold out as well. So that's just a sign, like just like on the cusp. But I think this album is very much like, I don't know, it kind of distills everything, I guess, about this band, like what makes them this band. Like it's heart on your sleeve indie anthems. It's going for it. It's big, main stage kind of choruses, everything like that. But also, but with variety as well. There's tracks, like stuff like Weight in Gold and like You Over Anyone, which is a slightly slower one. But you look through and it's just like there's a bunch of singles they've already released on this album, which just all kind of still feel really fresh and new. And it's just like they've just whacked it all together and gone, right, there we go. That's who they are. It's quite incredible to see because, I remember when they first played, and I think they played a Mirror a few years ago, and here at Dork, we were kind of like badging their tour, I guess. We were kind of like on the road with them. And they played the show at Mirror, and I remember being like, oh wow, that's quite, it's quite a step for them. They were very new at that point. They're like maybe one or two tracks like a few years ago, and it was just a sold out room, and obviously frontman Henry is kind of like was like, kind of like crowd surfing and going to the back, and I was just like, okay, like these guys know what they're doing here. They know exactly who they want to be, and they went for it.
Even that early on, it was so clear, I think. And I do think it's one of those. I think because I'm from Brighton, and there's the venues there. You play Concord, and then you play the Dome, and there's a massive gap between those. And the thing with London, and the reason it's always such a good judge of these things, is that there are venues for every size. And you can see them racing through those sizes so quickly. As you say, like, it was, 600 cap, 800 cap, 1,000 cap, and now all of that, and now it's up to Brixton. It's just like a mad progression. And I think this album, as you say, it's not just a collection of songs, and it's not just kind of where they are now. It's a really good summing up of who they are as a band. It is, this is what Seagulls are. And I think it's one of those, if you go into it, you're either going to instantly love it or you're not going to be interested. And that's like,
fine. I
think that's a good thing for a debut. You want it to be a real statement of intent. Second or third album, you can get into doing a bit of one thing and a bit of the other. But your debut, I think you just need to be just hammered it out. It's just, this is us. This is indie anthems. Like, if you love it, come along. If you don't, go listen to something else.
Exactly. Well, obviously, they were on the cover a few months ago. I had the pleasure, if you will, to talk to them for that and talk to Henry about it. And it's quite amazing. There's an amazing story as well behind the album. What we'll say, like, obviously pick up a copy of the May issue of Dork where you can read all about it. It's online as well now. So, there's no excuse. But there's a lot kind of like into it, about, kind of like stuff that he was going through and getting that into songs and kind of like the emotion behind that as well. And I think you can feel that as well. And I think it's just a real big side. And this is the thing as well with kind of like, new bands, like, they are who they are. They are, they'll be like, this is who we are, that band. That's the band we want to be. And like you say, if you want to join in, great. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But they just go for it. And I think that's a really, really powerful thing. And I just think, it's a really interesting time because it's like, I'm going to be really intrigued to see how this does, this album. I think it's already kind of like crossing over to so many. And obviously, like you say, there's tour dates in the horizon kind of thing. I think this could be, if only there were shows going on at the moment, you can imagine how big things would be at right now. But you can guarantee next year that's going to be huge again, and they're going to be playing those huge slots again, which is Really interesting. It's a great album.
Yeah.
Something you can easily plug into as well, which I think is quite important. You know, you can just click play on it and just you know exactly what you're going to get, which is great.
It's also that kind of album where I think we speak a lot about albums that you need to listen to as an album or that songs work better in it. Whereas I think this is one, you can probably pick this up any point in the album and just be like, yeah, this is a good song. This is a banger. Which I think is just a very different type of album to some of the other ones we've spoken about, in that this really does feel like a summation of the band rather than a standalone project, in the way that, for example, the Fontaines one is maybe not a summation of what Fontaines are as a band, but it's a summation of where they are now, and that's always going to stay. Whereas this, to me, feels so purely Seagulls that if they're still going for 20 years, they're going to be playing tracks from this album and it's not going to feel weird, you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's like a journal, isn't it? It's like they can look back over the past few years and be like, here's everything we've done, which is incredible. So yeah, it's a feel good indie album, easy to plug into, and just a good laugh, good fun, you know, good fun, and that's what we need. Should we play another track then, shall we? I feel like we should. We've talked for a bit, haven't we?
Yeah, why not, eh?
Yeah.
That sounds like the general template.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's what we do every week. Let's go with a song that kind of like, it's probably the oldest song on this album, weirdly enough. It's one of the first ones they released, but it's still probably a really good way just to summarise, I guess, Seagulls, especially live. So yeah, this is Call Me Out.
Got her hips on a bucket list and time was missed. Every night since we first kissed. Oh, lover, when you call me out, pull me off the ground, mouth to mouth. Oh, lover, when you call me out, do you feel like breaking my fall? Love, I feel like nothing at all. And if you feel like
Seagulls, Open Up Your Head is out now. You can also go online and read a track by track from Henry, which he's delightfully done for us here at Dork.
There's some lovely Seagulls stuff on Dork. Your feature, which you mentioned, that track by track. It's all good stuff. It's all available.
There's loads of stuff.
And it gives you a deep dive into the psyche of a band in a way that just listening to the album doesn't. And that's why you should send us loads of money.
Yes. Send us loads of money, please. Or as Bob Geldof says, give us your fucking money. Seagulls, Open Up Your Heads. Wonderful stuff.
Jamie, there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas, but what will there be this week? Have you got a jingle for us?
There will be something else. So, no snow in... For fuck's sake. There will be... I haven't done this in a while. Tweets of the week.
There we go. That same pained ending, as always.
Yeah, I lose breath. Jake, have you got what's been knocking around the Twitterverse, if you will?
I've got a marvellous tweet.
Hit me.
A true. I can't think of the word. It's good. It's a good tweet.
It's
good stuff. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
So this is from Shame. Band.
Shame.
Fans of whom will know haven't released any music in a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those acts we've been waiting on, isn't it? Really, we've kind of been like
2.5 years, I think, so far.
What's happening? So yeah, well, it has been a while.
They've said we went to record an album, but discovered on playback we'd actually mistakenly directed a straight-to-DVD spaghetti western starring Bradley Walsh.
Fair excuse.
Which I imagine would probably take around 2.5 years.
Yeah, but also I would like to see that, so I think they should release it more than anything. It's a Shame soundtracked spaghetti western featuring Bradley Walsh.
No. There's nothing to do with music. They've directed a straight-to-DVD spaghetti western starring Bradley Walsh.
Even better.
I've got a question, though.
Yeah.
It's not a question, I think it's more of an observation. I don't think Bradley Walsh would agree to appear in a spaghetti western.
No.
It's not something he's parallel to. Like he's doing the chase.
It's not his world, is it? It's not his world. I will agree on that. Like,
no, it's not the kind of thing that he'd go like, "Oh my god, I've always wanted to do a spaghetti western." He's been in Doctor Who, obviously,
famously.
but he's very much in the kind of game show sphere now. So I feel like, and also if it's starring him, I mean, the man's 60 years old. I mean, it'd have to be like a sequel kind of thing, the grizzled old veteran.
But would it be like? It'll be like. Have you ever seen obviously the latest Indiana Jones, where obviously
yes,
like Harrison Ford's, he's tired and he's been going for a while, but he kind of like goes like, right, here's a new recruit, and he gets Shia LaBeouf in. So maybe he just gets Shia LaBeouf in, and off to the races we go.
I feel like you'd mention that though, wouldn't you? You'd say we directed a spaghetti western.
Featuring Bradley Walsh,
starring.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Exactly. Also, I would just like to point out that if it's a spaghetti western, it has to be filmed in Italy. That's what makes it a spaghetti western, right?
Yeah, unless you're Quentin Tarantino, and then you just do it wherever.
Yeah, but that's kind of an homage to a spaghetti western. That's because that's already been a thing.
That's true. It doesn't say this is a homage.
What I'm saying, I think they're talking absolute bollocks, really, and they should just release a second album. Where's my album?
I was wondering when you were going to get there. On Shame. I was wondering when you were going to get there. Maybe they've been busy. They've been playing live, and they've been not putting out an album. This is a whole other thing. We would like that Shame album sooner or later. That'd be quite nice. That debut is brilliant. But yeah, maybe if they've soundtracked this spaghetti western, maybe we can just wait and hear that.
Well, fingers crossed, but I don't think it's happening.
Well, I've got an idea roughly. I was trying to think of Shame doing a spaghetti western, and kind of like, obviously you say they've directed it, but like if they were going to turn that into a song or an album, what would that sound like? And,
so we had a quick chat about this, and I just want to say that the best thing we've got is Shame's cover of Big Rock Candy Mountain from, made famous by Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, the film, which is available on their All the Hits EP on vinyl, but isn't available anywhere online, so we can't get to it.
We tried,
so Jamie came up with this alternative, which I think works quite well.
Yeah, I think this is the best it's going to get. And also, it reminds us we're just over 4 months from Christmas, Jake. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Jamie.
Merry Christmas, one and all. This is Shame with Feliz Navidad. I can. The sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? In the lane.
Children sing.
Listening.
In the lane, slow as glistening.
Spaghetti westerns tonight. We're happy. Walking in a Shame Wonderland. There we go. Yeah,
Jamie,
that
have you
works.
got a tweet for us?
I certainly do have a tweet. And this one is from another friend of the magazine, the McKenna of Declan himself. Old Declan.
Oh, yeah.
McKenna.
Oh, yeah.
And very simple tweet this, which I think we could all agree with. Life is a roller coaster. Just got to ride it. Now, Ronan,
someone should write a song about that.
Yeah, I mean, like this is so. Ronan Keating once again, maybe, and this is something we need to talk about. Obviously, is Ronan Keating getting to that phase of his career where he is now an influential figurehead?
I think Roller Coaster is one of those songs that is legitimately good. Like it's obviously it's kind of a cheesy pop song, but you actually listen to it and you're like, yeah, this is a very good song. So I think he's definitely there. It's not the ones where you look back and go, oh, I ironically like this. Like,
come on.
Don't fight it. Life is a roller coaster. Just gotta ride it.
Oh, huge. Huge. Ronan and Declan, I mean, what's the age difference there? How old was Declan McKenna? How old was Declan McKenna when Life is a Roller Coaster came out? That's a question. Let me have a look. I've got it here. Let me have a look. So,
You know, there's only 2 verses in Life is a Roller Coaster.
Why? I suppose. Wait, you don't need to add to perfection. You know, it's like why there's only.
Well, there's the thing. There's the na-na-nas at the beginning, and then there's the verses, which are what tell the story in a song, right? So you've really got my tail in a spin. Hey, baby, I don't even know where to begin, but baby, I got one thing I want you to know. Wherever you go, tell me because I'm going to go, right? And then the Life is a Roller Coaster. Yeah. And then you've really got me flying tonight, brackets, flying tonight, brackets, Amazing. Hey, sugar, ooh. You almost got us punched in a fight, brackets, that's all right. But baby, you know, the one thing I got to know, wherever you go, tell me because I'm going to show. And that's it. There's no more details on that bit where he nearly got punched in the face.
We'll never know. I suppose.
Like, who's punching Ronan Keating in the face? Like, what's happening there?
That's a bit much, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's Ronan, especially if he's just on Life as a Roller Coaster.
So don't fight it. Maybe he's talking to the bloke that's going to hit him.
Maybe.
So he's on a date with this woman, right?
So we think it's about a date. We think it's about a date.
Right, so he's on the date. No, he's on the date. And he's got a table for 4, but there's only 2 of them. Yeah. And the guy's come over and gone, we're a party of 3. Can you move to a table of 2? And Ronan said, no, I'm not going to do it. We're having a date here. And the guy said, like, well, I'm going to punch you in the face then. And he says, we found love, so don't fight it. Like, you might not get a booking here, but you'll get a booking somewhere else. Life is a roller coaster.
Because life is a roller coaster, just got to ride it. There we go.
And then he turns back to the date who's leaving because she thinks there's a bit too much drama. And he says, I need you. Ooh. So stop hiding, you know? Our love is a mystery, girl. Let's get inside it.
Is this a musical? Is this a musical we're suddenly coming up with now?
And then the other guy picks him up and he's really close to him and he says, listen, can you feel my heart? Can you feel my heart? Can you take my heart? And then he turns back to his date and says, we found love. And then he turns back to the guy and says, don't fight it. And it all carries on like that until it just sort of ends.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's maybe that's what's happened there. It's a mishap over a booking at a restaurant that actually caused the situation.
Must be.
As a note,
absolutely must be.
As a note, Declan McKenna was 1.5 years old when Life is a Roller Coaster came out. Little fact for you there.
Good to know.
So literally for him, like, life is a roller coaster. Just got the whole his life is that. It's always been there.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Amazing.
I mean, don't fight it, Jamie.
I think if I was to get a tattoo, Life is a Roller Coaster might be the tattoo I get. Maybe not with the full lyrics.
Round your collarbone in script font.
Yes, yeah. With like a picture of Ronan Keating with wings.
You could just get
with rings.
Oh, lovely. Or you could just get Life and Roller Coaster tattooed under your eyes. Like a sort of Post Malone style. Always tired, but Life and Roller Coaster. Roller Coaster would have to go like all the way around your eye.
I was about to say, how big do you think my eye lobes are? Fucking hell.
Your eye lobes.
Sorry, not eye lobes.
Your eye lobes. Jesus Christ.
Don't get a tattoo there. Oh, God. I mean, you'd look terrifying, wouldn't you, though, if you just blinked and it was like, oh, God. Eyes. Oh.
Your eye lobes.
God, we're going to... Oh, God.
Well, let's move on. We've had enough tweets. We've had enough tweets. Did a deep dive on the lyrics there. Thank you both, Declan McKenna and Shane.
Keep tweeting. Oh Lord. It's
time for this week for what we like to call. Now that's what I call a Hall of Fame pause feature. Now, in news, eagle-eared listeners may have found that we might have missed out some big news.
Yes.
Just roll with it, Jamie. It's fine. You know, language evolves. Deal with it. Don't be an arsehole. So the big news is, of course, that the Cribs have got a new song out, and we didn't even mention that. And
we didn't even mention it.
To yourself, why didn't they mention that? Why didn't they mention that? You might have been angrily writing us a letter. Please still send it. We need letters. We don't get enough letters.
We'll take hate mail. We'll take hate mail at this stage.
We will. Please send the hate mail, and then realise that actually it was a bit of a bait and switch because we've got the Cribs. They're in the Hall of Fame because of the new track.
They are. Look at that. The old switcheroo, if you will. You thought we'd missed it? We haven't. They're in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
As it's known. Yes, the Cribs, indie royalty at this point. Indie royalty. And so we thought, we're going to delve into that. But I'm also going to be joined by a guy who described himself as the mayor of Cribsville. I don't know what that means. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Was it Cribsville or Cribstown? I never listen when he speaks.
No. He was talking to us about coming on. I mean, he's currently knocking around somewhere, so we're just going to let him in. But we're going to be chatting to Liam from Dork fame about all things the Cribs. And just how great they are. They're in the Hall of Fame. So join us for that just after this. But first, let's play that brand new track that came out just a few days ago. This is the Cribs, Running Into You. Running into you in a
Speaking
way
of
only the
running
Cribs
into
could.
People, Jamie.
Wait, what?
I ran into someone in the corridor, actually. Yeah.
In the corridor? Who's there? Who's there?
It's Liam. It wasn't the corridor. He just joined the radio while that song was playing. Here he is. Here's Liam. Hello, Liam.
Hey.
Hello. Hey.
Here he is.
Here I am.
How are we doing?
It's good to
How are we
be
doing?
here.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thanks for having me aboard.
How are things? Any time. We're just at this point grateful for human company. There was a point we were just going to have Siri on as a guest. You are, and you are better than a digital creation of Steve Jobs. So
wow. Stick that in my Twitter bio.
Anytime. I also I do all dating site bios as well. If anyone needs any of them, just give me a shout. Some say it's weird, but I say I am the new Cilla Black. Anyway, the Cribs.
Lot to process there.
Hall of Fame. The ones, the onlys. Liam, what has drawn you to the Cribs? Because they've been about now for obviously a number of years.
Just to clarify it, Liam is a fan of the Cribs, and that's why he's here.
Yes,
it's true. I am here for a purpose, and it is to spout my love of the Cribs. That's my purpose in life, rather than my purpose just here on the podcast.
Happy days. Happy days. Well, what drew you? What drew you to the Cribs? Like, what can you remember the first time you heard the Cribs? I guess what has drawn you to them in a way?
I can. I was a latecomer to the Cribs. I didn't hear about the Cribs until the year 2012, I think. Being an Australian and all that. But I was.
Did they not make it down under? Is that what it is? They never really made it that far.
They might have done, but I was just not that clued in. I think it was that I had a friend at uni that was from London, and he was doing an exchange, and he was like, "Oh, you like all these bands I like? Do you like the Cribs?" And I was like, "Who's that?" And he said, "Well, you should go and listen to them." And then it was right before In the Belly of the Brazen Bull came out. And so I listened to them and I liked them. And then me and another friend went to see them in this tiny, like incredibly sweaty venue in Brisbane called The Zoo. And it was love at first sight, really. A beautiful time.
Nice. A beautiful time.
A beautiful
I guess
time.
They've been around, for a number of years, haven't they? Now, I mean, it's quite. I guess the Cribs for me have always they've always been there, haven't they? Like they've always been around. They've always been, and they've obviously been like rapidly turning around albums at every point. They're simply like kept just going, here's another one, every like couple of years, more so than most bands, I guess.
They simply followed the standard release schedule of a band for an extended period of time. And now, here they are in the Hall of Fame. That is your reward, the Cribs.
I think the Cribs secretly plan ahead quite far. I think they secretly have got a long plan. Because when I saw them that first time, I bought a T-shirt that said on the back, 24/7 Rockstar shit. And then like 5 or 6 years later, that's the name of the punk album.
I thought you were going to say that
I thought you were going to say you bought a T-shirt and on the back it said August 2020 will release a song.
That was sewn into the lining, like the tag.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's a strong one, but I guess they've kind of like, I don't know. There's like, for me, there's obviously like 3 like big albums, if you will, which kind of like came out obviously through that big period of kind of like indie bands everywhere, where it was like 2005 to like 2009. It was obviously like the New Fellas, like Men's Needs, Women's Needs, whatever. And Ignore the Ignorant, I guess. And I would like those kind of like feel like they're albums that people like go back to again and again and again. Like do you feel that, Liam? Are those ones that when you finally were introduced to their world, were you like, oh blimey, I've missed this?
When I was welcomed into the bosom of the Cribs. Yeah, those are like
if you will,
those are the albums that they have the sort of like. You would have the reunion tour for, or not the reunion tour, but like the anniversary tour for, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do they've done the Men's Needs anniversary gig. Be good if they didn't Ignore the Ignorant one, but I think that should have been last year if that was going to happen, wouldn't it? Year before?
Not looking that far ahead. Yeah, that's an issue.
What's time anymore?
What is time anymore? That's very true.
Those are the peak Cribs albums.
And I guess as well, like I guess they've kind of become a bit of a cult band, like in a lot of ways. They obviously have been very successful. Like, don't get me wrong, they've had like top 10 albums. Like I think the last like 3 or 4 albums have been like in the top 10. Like they're not a small band, but they've kind of become a band which it feels like if you're a fan, you're like a devoted fan. You are there for the Cribs no matter what, and like you're just will ride or die, as some would say. Except if you can't
bands, ride, you just die.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're one of the few bands where it's not weird to wear their T-shirt at a Cribs show.
No, it is.
Yeah, like a lot of other bands. A lot of other bands is like you just be like, that's weird, but it's more of like a common thing for people to wear Cribs T-shirts to Cribs shows.
So you're saying that more Cribs fans are weird than at a normal gig?
Perhaps. Perhaps I am. But
welcome to the whole.
I think we're okay with that.
On a serious note, I think that is a good point that they've got this kind of cult appeal despite being a big band. Everyone who's really into them feels like they are kind of a cult band, and they do inspire devotion in a way that most bands that have got to their size don't. Which is nice, I guess, for them.
It is nice. Yeah. And they do Cribsmas, and that's nice.
Of course. Yes, Merry Merry Cribsmas.
Exactly.
They did up in Leeds, didn't they? They used to do it. I mean, they kind of have spread it far and wide, but they used to do it up in Leeds, didn't they? The Brunel. Where they used to chuck on that, so they're very good. What do you make of when Johnny Marr joined the band? Because that's the moment.
Like when Johnny Marr joined.
Some people, and I'm not pointing fingers because I can't, because we're recording this in audio form. But some people maybe weren't that much of a fan of like when Johnny Marr joined the band, or felt like it was a slightly different band. Like, what do you think it kind of gave them something different?
You've made that sound like that's me. That's not. No one here thinks that.
No,
you're talking to me, and I'm not going to point any fingers. I like that album.
No audio pointing.
I think also that was probably the first album with Johnny Marr on it that I properly got into, because I came quite late to the Smiths, and like I got into that when it came out. So Johnny Marr to me is always a member of the Cribs. I listen to the Smiths and I go, oh, they've got that guitarist from the Cribs on here. That's cool.
He's gone back in time and he's joined the Smiths. Brilliant.
He's knocking around. Superb stuff. Above.
I think
in particular,
go
on, Liam.
No, I was going to say, I think Ignore the Ignorance got some of their best songs on it, but again, coming to, like, having arrived at Cribsville after the album came out, I think it was a different experience for me, because it wasn't like I loved this band and then they changed, right? It was like I could look back and be like, oh, they also did this with Johnny Marr. who is, but even like
I
the
think
Cribs
with the
themselves-
benefit of hindsight, and you can look at those other albums and know that Johnny Marr one sticks out rather than being the direction they were going in, which I think everyone was worried about at the time, especially after Men's Needs, Women's Needs was so big, and like everyone was like, oh, they're going to make another one like that, it's going to be great, and then that came out, and it's a completely different album. Even without without Johnny Marr, it is still madly different to the one before it. But I think it's got better with age. I think when it came out, a lot of people were more like, what the fuck is going on here? Anyway, are the Cribs named after the MTV show or the construct in which you hold a child?
I think that's a question for a future, like to physically accost one of the Jarmans with.
No, it's the question for you, Liam.
Oh, okay.
As their representative on the podcast. Pick one.
You're the expert here.
As the mayor of Cribsville.
Yes.
I'm going with MTV because that's more fun than babies.
MTV is more fun than babies. That was their slogan for a good few years, wasn't it?
That's this week's strapline for the door.
That was actually the line that would come up. The line would come up actually just before they played like Jersey Shore. This is actually more fun than children. So it's all fine. It's all fun.
What was that show that was on MTV that was like 16 and pregnant? Because I feel like that would be the strapline.
16 and pregnant, more fun than babies.
More fun than
if you hate being 16 and pregnant, you're going to hate having babies even more. I think we may have gone off topic slightly here.
I don't think we can balance a Cribs album alongside 16 and pregnant, but I suppose if they're, what if anything, if you're looking in that sort of timeline, you could argue, they've had their teenage years, they've lived, suddenly a family kind of comes around, but they're still serving up absolute bangers as well. Like you say, in the belly of the Brazen Bull was huge, and I remember like a huge things like that kind of like their festival run there. I remember seeing them a few times, and it was like, oh wow, like they're brilliant because they'd properly, I don't know, Johnny Marr had made them kind of a slightly more tighter pop band, if you will, whereas this album was kind of like them just kind of like really like just throwing it kind of like almost just like throwing that kind of like pop sensibility like right in like people's faces. It was just like, well, whatever, here's like some really like gnarly like punk rock almost in a lot of ways, which I found was really interesting because they kind of like decided to
some gnarliness.
like we know what we're doing, because they also like recorded stuff like Steve Albini and like they've gone off and done some like mad stuff. But what's really exciting is that every release, it's not like you see a new Cribs album and you're just like, like, do you know what I mean? Like every single album, they come with something new, something fresh, but still with that distinct, like I guess, Cribs ability. If that's a thing, does that count as a thing?
I think it says a lot that earlier we were talking about it, like a load of people right from the magazine were talking about it. None of us could decide on the best Cribs song. We all had a different favourite Cribs song, which I think, like with a lot of bands, that does happen. But you can all kind of then go, the real banger is this one, isn't it? Whereas with the Cribs, we were all just like, no, I don't want to shift from my position. So I think that's good as well, that every album's different and not in a way that makes you go, oh, this is different and shit.
It's never like, I wish they hadn't changed.
And that is why they're in the Hall of Fame, because didn't go shit. So that's a winner. That's a winner.
And they're one of the finest live bands in the country. I know that always sounds a bit like, here's your participation trophy, but they really are.
No, exactly. I mean, like, they come and they bring it every time, and they kind of feel like they're in a lane of their own, like in a lot of ways now. Like, it doesn't feel like they want to, they don't come up and they're like, right, we need to compete with all of these bands. They're like, well, no, we are the Cribs. We've got our following, and also we do our own thing. Like, and they'll go around and they'll play huge slots at festivals and they'll do all that. And I think that's probably a really good sign. That's a sign of a band who, mean a lot to a lot of people, is they know what they're doing, and they're like, we're not sitting there looking around being like, right, we need to be like this or we need to be like this. They're fully,
I guess they're
comfortable
just,
in their own skin.
They're just not that bothered about having to impress our bovine public, I'd say. It's probably the main thing about the Cribs.
Are you trying to say that the public are in some way bovine, Jake?
I might be. The ones that wear brown shoes, anyway. Can't remember any of the other lyrics, so that's where I'm going to stop there.
You got the crucial one, though. You got it right in there.
Superb. Thank God for that, because we would have made a real tit of ourselves otherwise.
On this very
Liam,
serious...
Oh yeah, of course, this deadly serious moment. Liam, what is we've talked a lot here, and Jake has reminded us of a certain song. Would you say that song is probably one of your favourite Crib songs?
I would say, I believe it is one of my favourite Crib songs. Isn't that convenient?
That is convenient, because it's the song we have queued to play next. It's mad when that happens, isn't it? Should we?
Incredible scenes.
Oh, it's like we planned this. It's like we planned it. Let's have a listen. This is our bovine public.
I'm hoping that it hurt, 'cause we spent too much silent grammar to be grinding to the gut by those who never exist without being dramatic. You're out to impress, outboard by public. You never exist if you wasn't generic. You're out to impress, outboard by public. I'll never forget how all this begun, and I will never regret a thing I have done. But you would never exist without us, so maybe I do.
Cool, heavy stuff. You know, the Cribs. Great band, eh?
One of the greats.
One of the greats. Hence why they're in the Hall of Fame. You would say.
You could say that.
It's wonderful stuff. Are you looking forward to the next the new album, Liam? Obviously, I guess you are. You're obviously, mayor of Cribsville, as you described yourself.
I'm very much looking forward to the new Cribs album. I'm looking forward to whenever it is that I get to see the Cribs live again. If
that'd be nice, won't it?
Yeah, more
I think the Cribs are the band I've seen live the most out of any other band.
Wow.
And, I want to continue my run.
I think for me it would be the Wombles.
We'll get into that again.
Just about.
I mean, maybe the Cribs could play with the Wombles.
I'd like that very much.
Maybe that's it.
But I think they probably have a fight over who had to be in the support slot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a big debate.
Well, there are more Wombles than there are Cribs, right? So maybe the Cribs would have to support the Wombles, because otherwise there'd be too much equipment and stuff having to be moved, and it'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, well, see, I was more thinking they were going to have a fight, but that's clearly our two different psyches.
But Liam's one makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Liam's
I'm just a pacifist, Just I don't want to see any Wombles get kicked.
Won't someone please think of the logistics of moving that drum kit?
Everything's got to be Womble-sized as well. Which is surely
I think the
Wombles
are like big. I think they're like normal. I seem to recall when they were playing Top of the Pops, they were like normal. Sized. Yeah, but the thing is, there aren't many people that are hedgehog sized, so to make people dress up as the Wombles, you have to make the Wombles bigger.
Wait.
Yeah, it's just not going to work.
People dress up as the Womble? The Wombles aren't real? Excuse me.
So the Cribs are in the Hall of Fame, and that's what matters.
Oh, that bombshell. The Cribs in the Hall of Fame. Liam, we unfortunately now at this point have to
get out.
Have to ask you to shoot off into the sunset, because me and Jake are just going to tidy up here before we also head off into the abyss.
The sun. Wow.
Yeah, like Evel Knievel. Like Evel Knievel. All I say is keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times. We don't want injuries. We're not liable as well. Let's just say that on there. We're not liable. Liam, it's been a pleasure. We will see you at a Crib show soon.
It's been a joy.
All right, he's scampered away like the Cockney chimney sweep he is.
What, the famously Australian guy? Cockney chimney sweep.
If you read Great Expectations, one of them goes to Australia and he comes back rich. So maybe it's that in reverse. I don't want to delve too deeply into it, Jamie. Either way, the Cribs, they're gone. Liam, he's gone. He's
gone now.
It's gone.
The show is gone.
We're done.
Jesus Christ!
We're done. We're done, mate.
Yeah, we're done for another week. We're done for another week. Cheers for tuning in once again.
Please
it's been a hot
send
one.
us in any comments, hate mail, praise mail. That's always nice. Tune in next week when we should hopefully have Seagirls actually here.
Yeah, but let's not rule it out. Like, we
let's.
go
I mean,
for
it could
a
all
lot.
go wrong again.
Someone else might turn up.
And
Who knows?
Remember that from every big tree comes a tiny seed, and that seed itself can become a big tree. So, if you've got dandruff, maybe that's what it is.